water splashing vibe because it looks kind of like sea salt. Hi friends, welcome back. I'm Terry to you with Old Soul Factory, and today I've got a fun thing that we did one time a while ago and it did really well, so I want to do it again with you guys, especially because it is my birthday month and I want to celebrate in a special way, and this feels like a bit of getting to know me and a little bit of like my past and all kinds of things. So I thought I could drop a little bit of lore, as one might say, while we create some safety eyes inspired by essentially the last 20 something years of my life. My birthday is May 25th, so towards the end of the month on Memorial Day this year. So I wanted to do a little bit of a special drop on June 1st, and one of those I wanted to be a special collection inspired by like my birthday and my past and those kinds of things. So I have picked out some core memory pictures and some stuff like that I want to show you, go over, talk about why it's important to me, and then get colors inspired by that and create some safety eyes together. So with all of that said, the first thing we gotta do is show you the color palette, of course. So I have designed this color palette. It is called Through the Years. I love this. This is a bunch of core little memories, like I said, throughout my past that are important to me or important to me now even still. So I want to go over them and just talk about them, and we'll just pick colors based on the pictures that I picked. So I have a kind of a color palette already picked, but again, these things always change as you're picking out colors because sometimes you can't find the exact right color, or you can find something else that inspires you along the way. So this will be fun. I can't wait to sit down and just chat with you guys for a while. I've been wanting to do this again for quite a while now, but I just haven't had the time, and now I finally have the time, so I thought I'd share that with you. First things first is Gertrude. Gertrude is going to be color number 1 at the top of our color palette. This is inspired by one of my first vehicles. I drove a little blue limited edition Volkswagen Beetle for quite a few years, and I loved that car. I hated getting rid of it. I needed something a little bit bigger, a little bit more reliable at the time, but Gertrude has been and will always probably be my favorite car ever, and I just thought since she was older compared to everybody else's cars that I thought I should name her Gertrude, and she's just a little vintage car is what she always felt like, and she felt like an old soul just like me, so we always had a connection. I always loved her. So she was a very special and very unique color though, so I thought it'd be fun to do a color inspired by her. So she was not metallic, but obviously all glitters are kind of sparkly and metallic. So we're gonna do our best to find something that might be a little bit more subtle and a little less in your face glittery, at least, just because I want to stay true to her and her colors. So I definitely want to go with a fine glitter for this instance. A chunky glitter always reflects more and is very much more noticeable, so I definitely want to go with more of a fine glitter in this case. So these are essentially more of my fine glitters in these little tubes, and this is more of the chunky ones, kind of as a backup, because I feel like these little palettes have the best color selection overall. I've already looked through my big bin already, and the closest color that we had was a very chunky, like opal-y glitter, which is very cute. But like I said, I want to try to stick to a fine glitter for this instance. So already right off the bat, I'm seeing a few over here that might be promising. Some of these lighter ones in here are mostly just white glitter mixed with like a lighter version of another color, which I think is cute. I think that will kind of represent Gertrude well. Like this one is really speaking to me for this instance. It's kind of like if she had snow on her, this is what my car would have looked like back in the day. So I'm gonna leave this one aside for Gertrude for now because I just think this one's adorable. It has that tealy kind of reflection, which she was kind of like a subtly dusty blue color, but like I said, she was a limited edition Beetle, so there was only like, I think it was 1,500 made, and she had a special stamp on her steering wheel and everything that told you which number she was. I just love that little car. Lots of good memories tied to it from when I was back in high school. So we're gonna set that one aside for Gertrude. The next one we have is called Totally Tubular. So this one is another important one, obviously. I'm tubing on the lake in that picture, so this one's gonna be kind of a fun one, but my main priority in this one is to kind of try to find not a variegated, I was gonna say variegated, I have yarn stuck in my head, but kind of like a multicolored glitter or mix our own glitter that has yellow, blue, and red. I also feel like this kind of gives confetti vibes and stuff for a birthday thing, so I thought that this would be perfect to mix in here. So none of these are necessarily going to work unless we mix colors together, so I'm going to look through my big bin for now. And just as I thought, I have opals on this side and the rest are just the solid colored glitters. So I'm going to go to my color shifting ones. So my color shifting ones, my best bet's to maybe find one that's kind of dark blue and then maybe mix one that's like yellow / reddish. How do we feel about this three together? We have a blue and opal, a red and opal, and a yellow and opal, but I feel like if we mixed all three of them, it would kind of give like the water splashing vibes with the three main colors of the tube. Or I can go with a classic chunky glitter in each of those colors. So let me get those three out and see how that would also look. Again, these little palettes ended up having like the best selection of colors, so I've been using these a lot and I probably need to reorder them, which reminds me they are in my Amazon storefront down below as well. So if you make safety eyes and even like these, go ahead and check out my Amazon storefront down below. I do get a small percentage. You don't pay extra, but I do get a small kickback from any purchases made through my link or my posts and stuff, which helps me a ton. Okay, so we could also do these three solid colors. Let me put them in the same order because I have them backwards as the opal ones, and we'll compare them really quickly and make a decision. Looking at them now, I feel like these would be easier to match to an actual plushie, so it's more of like a subtle look as well. So I think I'm gonna go with the opal ones, even if this one looks more like the picture. I just think once these three colors are mixed together, it might be kind of hard to match stuff to them, and it's kind of clownish, and I don't really like the clownish spooky stuff, so I'm gonna go with the ones that have the opal in them. The next one we have are some pictures from me around 4th grade-ish. I believe the one with my life vest on is from a little bit younger. I might rename this color. I'm not 100% set on it yet, but I was obsessed with pink and purple and butterflies a lot when I was littler. I was the first girl of the family, so of course I was decked out in all of the girly things until I got older and I got really tomboyish because I wanted to fit in with my brothers. So I think that it'd be really fun to do some butterfly glitter. I feel like 3 and 4, this really bright pink and purple color down here in the middle would be perfect for this. I feel like that screams early 2000s as well. So I'm going to do that, and then let's pick like a light pink, pinky purpley, kind of almost a lavender color kind of for the background. So I want to keep it simple so that the butterflies still stand out on like the front layer. So let me see. A solid color fine glitter would probably work best, so this container is my best bet at this moment, probably. I feel like these two are my lightest ones, the light pink and light purple. But I feel like the purple's too close to the purple butterfly, so I'm going to go with pink for this one, especially because my main color of my shirt is basically this color of pink, maybe slightly lighter, but I think that this would be perfect for it. So I'm going to set those aside for 4th grade. Now this next one is probably going to be the most difficult to color match because it's very abstract compared to the other ones. The other ones were very like straightforward to me and I had a clear direction on. The next one I didn't necessarily. So the next one is called French fries. I named this one French fries because me and my boyfriend currently love to try new restaurants. I found out very quickly that I'm a very picky eater, or at least I thought I was until I started trying all of these new foods and stuff. And now it's like our thing every time we travel or we go out or we celebrate somewhere new, we try to pick somewhere new to eat. So it's been really fun to try all of these restaurants, and I try to take a picture at every dinner. I know I am that girl apparently now, but it's been really fun, and I have a whole album on my camera roll now of all of these different places that we've found that we love to eat at. So I'm kind of thinking like French fries / burger kind of joint thing. So I think that I want to do like a light tan color the best I can. Now, when I first started making eyes, I made a collection that was like really fun and was, I can't remember what I called it actually. I want to say Rock Collection, but Rock Collection was one of my new ones. But anyways, I used these little glass shards, like glass glitter shards, and I put them into some safety eyes, and that was super fun. So that kind of might look like, you know, French fries a little bit. So I'm keeping that in the back of my mind. I also have a lot of champagne-y, like light brown kind of colors. So I've decided what I am going to do for French fries. I'm going to do these clear little glass ones because it looks kind of like sea salt. So I feel like that'll be a little fun little thing to do. So I'm gonna do those, and then I'm gonna mix up like the perfect color of mica powder to put behind it. That's like a very light tanny brownish color. That way I'll have more control over the color, because I feel like I can't find the perfect one, and I want to make sure that the little sea salt pieces kind of stand out. So with that in mind, that one is good to go, and we are on to the last color. And now the last color to me is probably the easiest color, honestly. I know that I want to use chunky glitter, and I know that I want to use it in this neon color. If you didn't know, this is the color of a softball, and that is the last color that we were doing. So I'm going to use this one. It is a chunky neon light is literally what it's called. It's also linked down below on my Amazon storefront, but I'm going to be using this one for a bright neon yellow eye. I feel like there's a lot of times I could use a neon yellow or a neon green for like cats and like nighttime creatures and stuff like that, like raccoons and other things like that. So I think that this will be a fun, unique color to do. So I'm excited to do that one as well. So we have all of our colors officially picked out, and honestly, looking at them over here, they actually still kind of go together, which is weird enough. So again, our little color palette for inspiration. This is what we are doing. I am so excited to be working on this. So there's probably going to be a little bit of time lapse, a little bit of talking, a little bit of behind the scenes, and some story time of some of these memories and such. But we'll get into that as we start painting the eyes. So first things first, I'm going to get out my little trays that I like to keep all of my safety eyes in. And I'm going to set out the appropriate number of safety eyes for all of the collections that I would like to do while we're over here. And I'm going to put away all of these glitter tins over here. So I'm going to do all of that really fast and then come right back for you guys. So again, this color name is named Gertrude, and I love that name. My Beetle was one of my favorite cars, and her name was obviously Gertrude, as I mentioned. But my favorite thing about my Beetle was not only how much it fit my personality, I felt like, but I also loved the fact that Beetles have a mini flower vase built into the car that you can take out. And so I loved, like, there was nothing better than driving with the windows down. You got a fresh little wildflower you found on the side of the road in your little flower vase, and then you've got all of your friends just packed into your little car. It was so much fun back then. So I had to give Gertrude her own little moment. Yeah. Okay, friends, it's another day. We put a pause on that project and we came right on back to it, and I am ready to get started. So I have my 3 colors for the totally tubular color. I have my cup here. I have my little stick of magical mixings, and I'm ready to get started. So now, I've been quite busy the last couple days designing new patterns, trying new things and stuff, which you will see in next week's video. But this week, I just wanted to really make sure I focused and capitalized on this, since my birthday would be coming out the day before. Again, this is a color palette that's all based off of things from my childhood and throughout the years and stuff. And Totally Tubular is a color that's really important to me. Our whole family takes a vacation every single summer, and it is so amazing, and I'm very fortunate and blessed to be able to do this. But it is so much fun. The cousins all being together, everybody getting to stay in the same house, swimming in the pool, all the memories, the talks, the late night board games that we get to play together, the meals shared, everything like that is very, very just amazing for me. And I just love the memories that I have associated to these vacations. And we almost always stay right on the lake, and we have lots of fun. Okay, I have all of my eyes ready. I have my color mixed together. It is definitely an opal with like some flakes of red and blue and gold from the yellow itself. So let me show you this really quick. It's a very interesting color, and I think it's going to look really good once we actually put it onto the eyes, but it's one of those colors that I always kind of second guess before I actually get to execute it. So I'm ready to get started, make these eyes, and get into it. And just as I thought, it is such a unique and fun color. I am so excited that we ended up going with the opal version of this. I feel like at least this way it'll have a shimmer up those extra kind of secondary colors in it. But it still kind of has that bright opal-y goldish kind of vibe to it, which I thoroughly enjoy. While these finish baking, I want to tell you just a quick little story about a tubing incident or lake related incident that happened when I was a little bit younger. Every year, tubing was like one of the most exciting parts for us, especially as kids. Like, it was the most exhilarating and exciting thing we'd get to do, is go out on a boat in the middle of nowhere, it felt like to us, and just go ride around and tube behind this big boat and try to jump any waves from other bigger boats that might be driving by and stuff out on the lake, and avoid, you know, logs or debris that maybe rolled in from the storms that might have happened recently. And there might be a little bit of moss on top of the water, and accidentally touching that or getting it on your face while you're tubing is not exactly fun. So I just remember all of those so vividly when I was younger, and I specifically remember this one time where it was like our grandpa's mission to make sure we fell off of the tube, and we were out riding on this lake of some sorts at the time, and we had gotten a different tube, and the ones we'd had in years past, you kind of just like sit in it, and then there would be like handles on each side of you, and you would have like 2 or 3 people sitting in them. And then, like the inspiration picture, this is one of the newer tubes that we kind of started getting into as we got older, would be the ones with handles. And so like you'd have to, there's usually 2, sometimes you can fit 3 depending on how big the people are, but you'd have a handle on your side and then a handle on their side, and you'd kind of cross over. And I just remember our grandpa going, like, we got back on the boat and he said he went like 50 miles an hour trying to throw us off this stinking tube. But we were just getting old enough to where we could like really hold on, and so he just thought it was such a fun challenge. And I just remember getting back on the boat and grandpa being like, I really tried, guys, I really tried to throw you off. But yeah, those are some of the best memories with just all my family over the summers, and so I cannot wait to go again this year. But I am ready to move on to the next color. So if you were around for the early 2000s, much like me, that was where I spent my childhood. Growing up was in the early 2000s. Now, the early 2000s style is starting to make a comeback. Lots of butterflies and brown and pinks together, and black and pinks, and animal prints and those kinds of things. There's even like a whole style, like aesthetic called Y2K that's very much that early 2000s kind of look and things. But obviously back then I was just a little kiddo, and so my Y2K experience was a lot of pinks and purples and justice and plaids that matched the shirt that you were wearing, and what was that one monkey brand? The Laughing Monkey brand? I don't know, but I'll put it on the screen. I just remember a lot of this when I was like younger, and I feel like the picture of me in the butterfly shirt just kind of emphasizes that. And then again, another picture of me at the lake when I was younger with my little life jacket on, holding up my 2 little minnows I had caught because we always used Cheez-It crackers as bait for them. And of course we would release them right after, but it was so much fun to do while we were out there, like at the little beach, stopped, taking a break from tubing as well. And so I picked the purple and pinkest colors I could find to make this next eye color. I am so excited for this. I actually made some eyes like this with some white butterfly like details inside of them in 30 millimeters. I loved them so much that I had to specifically buy a certain pattern I had in mind to put them on, but that will be for another video. It is a very big project that I'm working on currently, and I'm very excited about it, and I wish I could show you, but I want to make sure I wait until it's all said and done. That way I can give you the full pattern review and all of that as well while I show off the pattern. So just be on the lookout for that, but I am very excited for this color. It'll be so much fun. It'll be so cute. I'm really thinking that like a cute pink loaf cat would be really cute with these eyes, or maybe some girly inspired pint-sized pals from Stacy Makes. I feel like some of those would be adorable with like these 20 or 25 millimeter eyes even. So I'm really excited to get started on the next color. So let's jump into it. But I don't know if you guys knew this, but I've always been crafty since I was like little bitty. I'll try to find some like childhood photos of myself and put them up on the screen because I think it's so cute, and I don't know what happened to me since then, but I just think it's so funny how much I've changed. And I've just always loved art though. I was such an artsy kid. I taught myself how to draw whenever we got snowed in one winter. I kind of just started picking up like realistic pencil drawings and stuff, and then I just kind of went from there, and then I started painting, and then I got into high school and I could finally take real art classes, and then me and my mom both ran an art studio for a while, so we were doing that, and that was so much fun because we had such a passion for it in the community, and we just loved it so much. But we moved on from that, and then we both ended up kind of needing something to do in our free time after that, and kind of to help us keep our sanity too. So then we both started kind of crocheting. I started crocheting a little bit before she did. I started seeing people on TikTok posting like mostly cows and stuff, other of the little typical things like the cows, the bees, the leggy frogs, and all of that stuff. I feel like is when, again, crochet kind of blew up in the first place. And so that's kind of when I hopped on the trend. I feel like it was like 2022-ish. But I've been doing YouTube basically since then because I was like, if I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to just try to log my journey the best I can. And when I first started crocheting, that's how I kind of learned, was through tutorials and all kinds of YouTube resources, because I strongly believe that if you want to learn something, you could definitely go out there and teach yourself how to do it. And so I taught myself how to do it, and ever since then I've been crocheting or doing something crafty. Yes, I still do paint. I still love coloring books more than that, probably, just because then I don't have to think and get exhausted just thinking of a concept to paint or draw. I feel like I'm one of those people that overthinks time a lot, and so I don't want to waste any time. I feel like that's also why I'm really bad about just releasing all these patterns that I have in my head, because I just don't know which ones you guys want. when in reality I should just start releasing them and stop caring so much about that. So needless to say, I've always been a crafty kid and will always be, and crochet will forever have my heart now. So the next one, if you remember, is called French fries. This one is inspired by all of the recent foodie trips I have taken, new restaurants I've tried, and new food I've tried. Like, I've recently, in the last year, tried sushi for the first time, and I'm actually a really big fan. Now, don't get me wrong, I still like the deep fried sushi, so I don't know if you would really count that. All of you sushi enthusiasts out there might flag me down for that one. But I am really excited to be making this French fry themed one because I have these really cool, again, these crushed glass like little flakes that I'm going to be using. And then I also think that I need to pair it with some of this transparent glitter as well, just to help it show up a little bit better on the first layer. Because the first layer is going to be these two things together, and then I'm going to back it just like I do with all of my eyes with a mica powder resin mixture. That's what's on the backs of all of my eyes. It just gives them a clear, not a clear backing to them, but like a very defined background so you don't see the yarn through them. Every once in a while I have glitters or a mixture that's thick enough to where I don't really need it. Like I would say on the chunky glitter ones, on some of them, it is so thick that you're not going to really be able to see through them. And so like I probably don't really have to put a backing on it, but I'm still going to just for peace of mind. So I have to be 100% sure that it's not going to be seen. But for this one, I will be putting the brown, tannish, French fry-ish, yellowy kind of backing on it anyway. So it's like a salt shaker. I also really like these Rinfolio, or I always call them Rinfolio, but that is not the name at all. Rinfio, I think is how you say it. But this brand of glitter, it's also all linked in my Amazon storefront down below. All of the glitters and supplies that I'm using that I got off of Amazon at least. The eyes themselves I bulk ordered from AliExpress a long time ago, but I like these because they have the option on the tops of them, the shaker sides of them, for like a pour or a filtered shake, I would say. There's probably a better word for that, but there's not one coming to mind. So like right now, I'm kind of shaking the smaller filtered side out. So hopefully I can get more of the small pieces in there that look a little bit more like kind of that salt vibe that we're going for. And then this clear, non-opaly glitter will also help kind of fill in the gaps in that layer and kind of in other lightings or other, you know, reflections, kind of help give it that salty look on the surface a little bit more. So I'm also adding some of this to help fill in that clear layer. And then again, we're just going to use our Let's Resin resin, which I'm almost out of. I have my next bottle sitting over here on the table, but I do need to order more, that's for sure. But it doesn't take much resin, honestly. I just go through a lot because of how many I'm making. I feel like I'm making slime right now, just because of how weird this mixture is and it's all crunchy right now. It's a weird feeling, that's for sure. you can't even really see what I'm mixing up, but that is the exact texture I wanted because it has all of the little rocks in there. Once you get them spread out and actually put onto the eyes too, they're much easier to see. Again, I have indeed made some eyes with this before. I actually recently used some of them in a new pattern that I am coming out with pretty soon, or will be testing, I should say, soon. Because I still got to do all the testing and stuff first. But I do film these videos a little bit in advance, so if you do see this, then go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and follow me over on Instagram at Old Soul Factory Crochet. That way you could possibly sign up for the next tester call, because I will be doing some more here soon. Okay, we officially have all of our eyes with the plastics off of them, ready to go. They have all been checked and made sure that there's no nicks or scratches in the fronts of them as well. And so I'm ready to get going. So I'm going to put this layer on them and everything, and then we will come back later and do the next color here soon. How fun. I hope this works. I hope this turns out as cool as I hope it does. Yeah, this is gonna look really neat. It almost looks like icy water kind of effect. I think that'll be cool. I'll have to keep in mind how that looks and maybe use it on some future sets. I feel like this would be a cool combination to maybe make like a soda pop kind of collection per se. I think that would be neat because it kind of looks like just ice and carbonation with the little clear fine glitter that we added in. So I think this is a cool touch, and this will turn out really well actually for what we need. Guess who's back? Back again. Tara T. Tell me. Okay, it is the last day for this project. It is the last day that I have, especially to make sure that this gets done, because I am traveling for my birthday this weekend. I'm gonna go visit some friends a few hours away. I will not be home and be able to finish up this project, and I want to make sure that you guys see all of this in the next video. So we are down to our last color, so we're almost there. We're almost there. So I'm going to go ahead and get all of these set out while I talk about the last color that we have to do really quickly today. So the last color that we need to get done, at least for the base layer, and then I usually, like I said, go back and put the mica powder coat on the backs of all of them once I'm done, is softball. Softball is the very last color that we have. It is a very sentimental color to me as well, because if you didn't know, I played softball from like 5th or 6th grade up until college, into college actually. I love softball. I was homeschooled for a little bit, and when I came back to school, mom's like, you guys should do a sport, you know, to get a little involved, and it's something that we obviously couldn't do before that point. And like I said, we were going right into middle school. Middle school's about the time that it's the only time that you can start doing school sports really at our school. So we did like summer softball and stuff, and I was like, I'm gonna give it a try. So I went out for the softball team my 6th grade year, and I made it, and I definitely didn't have a single clue of what I was doing. I remember like I didn't even know like the base rules, like 3 strikes you're out, barely knew that. And it was really bad, but I had a very patient teacher and coach and mentor and friends that I gained from each and every team that I played on. And I went on to play in high school. We ended up going to state in both junior high and high school, so that was super fun for that experience. It was amazing. I loved it. I loved it. And I wouldn't trade that experience for the world. I think that everybody should play a sport. I think it helps you learn teamwork, cooperation, communication skills, and so many valuable assets that you can use later on in life. But I loved softball. I even played it in college, like I said. I only got to play for 1 year before I transferred to a closer college, closer to home. And by the time that I had made that decision, it was too late to transfer teams. So unfortunately, I couldn't play. But honestly, that was a good thing because that's kind of God's plan for me, because that's when COVID hit and a lot of things changed and softball got suspended anyways for the year. And then everybody basically got another year to play, and that season didn't count towards their eligibility for the next few years to play again. So that was awesome. So I'm really glad that I made that decision and everything, and I miss it every day. I wish I could find like a really good like slow pitch team or something to do out here. I always forget that this glitter is a chunky glitter, because on the outside of the tube, like, it's just the fine glitter that's stuck to it, and you can kind of see the chunky glitter in there, but not super great. But then you pour it out and it's just this beautiful, like, perfect yellowy, greenish, reflecting glitter. I mean, this is, yeah, you can see it from here. Like, it is a very bright color. So this is going to be really cool. I think it's going to look really neat on the white eyes, because I'm doing a few sets for this collection in the white eyes as well, which I think is going to be super fun too. So I'm going to add a little bit of resin. These are going to be awesome for like some dark colored projects. Like, I'm thinking like black cats and stuff. I think that this would be amazing on those. Okay, I got 2 extra pairs out for myself because I just, as soon as I mixed the color, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna want some of these. And since I have the resin already out, I might as well just go ahead and mix it up and use it, so. Okay friends, we've got everything done and I want to show you the final results. So here is our final collection, and I'll put a little b-roll video in here of some much better outside lighting. But we do have some amazing colors this time. We have Gertrude, Totally Tubular, 4th grade, French fry, and softball. And here again is an up close look at all of them. They are so beautiful. They seem like a very random collection of colors together, but honestly, I love safety eye sets like this because it's more like you're getting a sample of colors that you could use for different things instead of all just pinks or purples or blues or something like that. So I love this collection, and like I said, each one of these colors means a lot to me. They will be dropping on June 1st over my Etsy shop as well, so be on the lookout for those. If you are ready to purchase them, go give my Etsy shop a follow while you're at it. And that's all we got done this video, so thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the safety eye content, please comment down below, and if there's any safety eye colors that you use a lot, comment them down below too, so maybe we can curate a set based on your guys' favorite colors to use. And if you liked this video, go check out my 90s throwback video that I did that was like this, so go give that one a watch if you haven't already. And if you need me, you know where to find me, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye!